In the spring of 2020, I got my first pair of Vermont gloves. It was this pair right here. And when I got these, there were two options for glove types. There was a lighter duty and a heavier duty. And I decided I wanted something like slightly more dexterous, so I got the lighter duty version. And I got them, measured my hands, and checked them out, and realized I should get a small because they suggested sizing down for gloves if you're right on the edge, which these gloves fit wonderful. These fit really well. They are a little slow to get on and off because, well, they are slightly tighter, but boy, these fit. These are really dexterous and nice to use in that respect. And then came winter, and I decided I would try getting a lined pair of gloves. And you just buy the liners, you're supposed to put them in. If you size down the half a size and you try to wear liners, you might not have a good time, because you put a liner in these gloves and it's just way too constrictive and your hands get cold. So I got this pair of gloves. Now you notice there's only one because I lost the other one. There's only so much you can do with expensive gloves. You can still lose them. So they were nice enough to send me a replacement, which I haven't used yet. This one is a seconds glove. I'm not sure exactly what isn't quite right about it, but it definitely doesn't feel quite right. It feels fine, but it doesn't look quite right, and it's just a little weird. But I haven't started wearing this one yet. So this one was just this fall that I got that one, but I didn't wear it yet. And then once a year, we need to check part of our sugar house for squirrel nests, make sure they haven't built a nest in our blowers for our evaporator, and found this. This is the glove that I had lost. So apparently squirrels like to eat Vermont gloves. This actually might be fixable because they only did the top panel, not the palm, but I don't know. I might see if they can do anything with that. It's a little bit funky looking. And the liner just needs to be washed. It got moldy from sitting up there and whatever else. Then these guys wore out, started to get holes in the fingers. This one started to go here. So these got worn out, and I got this pair. And these are doing pretty good, but once again got a hole in the finger, and this patch here started to wear out. And these are they stopped selling on their website the lighter duty gloves, and they switched to their heavier duty. So they've got extra stitching or extra pad here, there, and on the fingertips they've got little extra. This only has a single stitch. These are still pretty nice and comfortable, but I wore this pair out. I thought about sending them in when this started to open up, this patch, because this little piece of leather could probably be easily replaced. But then the fingers started to go, and it's like, well, at that point, at some point you got to get a new pair of gloves. These could use some conditioning because they used them sawing lumber, and they got wet, so they need to be conditioned. And then I am now on to my current pair of Vermont gloves. So obviously, since I've worn out two pairs of gloves in 4 years, because I got my first pair in spring of 2020, and you can lose a pair, so they're not like forever gloves, obviously, because they're leather and they do wear out, but they are really comfortable and really dexterous for how tough they are. Like, for example, this pair of gloves, I sort of purposely exclusively use these as my work gloves for a whole year. And so I sawed a whole bunch of lumber with them, handled all sorts of boards. I fired our evaporator. We have around 1,800 taps, and we don't have an RO machine, so it takes a lot of wood to toss it in. So I fired with these. I processed firewood with these, so I just used these exclusively as my work gloves, and they held up really well. I mean, obviously they did wear out eventually. And then this pair is the pair I'm working on now. They're holding up well, but obviously eventually they're going to wear out at some point. So as far as gloves go, these are great work gloves because they're tough, and they're also. It seems a little funny to say that it's good that everything is going at once, but like the little reinforcement stitching here is starting to wear out on the fingertips, and so is the leather, and so is this patch here. So there's no weak point in the gloves. It's all good. The stitching, the seams are all good, everything. So there's, as tough as you can make them and still have them be functional gloves. Like you could take boot leather and make it into a glove and it would be tougher, but then you couldn't use them. They'd be just so clumsy and awkward. So these are, very usable gloves and very tough. So I really like them. Also, made in Vermont. How could you go wrong with that? One other nice thing about Vermont Gloves is I'm on my local volunteer fire department, and every year at the town fair we have a raffle, and they've been donating a pair of gloves for the raffle, and that's really nice for them. So people in town have been getting really nice gloves, so they're supporting our fire company, and they've just been a good company to work with. So anyways, yeah, get yourself a pair. Really, I'm averaging less than, how many pairs do I have? I've got really 5 pairs in 4 years, and I've got 2 usable pairs. So that's what, less than $100 a year, or about $100 a year, depending on how you look at it, how you do your math. Because I've used up 2 pairs. I've worn out 2 pairs in 4 years, and I've got 2 pairs. Still working on it. You can figure out however you want to calculate how much it costs per year. But really, yearly cost for gloves, that's really not bad. $100 a year to support a local company, doing good things, making good product in the United States, in Vermont. Why wouldn't you get a pair of these?